What is going on, everyone? Tis Joe here, bringing you a what is this? What does that say up top? Guilty Gear Strive. Oh, yes, I'm bringing you a Guilty Gear Strive review. I forgot, my bad. Now, before we get any further, I need to show some love to Arc System Works for sending me a review copy of the game. Thank you so much. It is a real honor. As you guys know, I love fighting games. This is probably one of the coolest things I've ever done fighting game-wise. So one more time, Arc System, thank you. Alright, so off rip, the first thing I want to show everybody is the mission mode. And the reason for that is because I think they did a pretty good job explaining a lot of the intricate mechanics of Guilty Gear, especially for a new player who doesn't have any idea about fighting games or what Guilty Gear is. I think this, again, really does a solid job at introducing everybody, new players, old players, to the new mechanics of Strive. So on the left-hand side, you'll see all the different difficulties of the mission categories. So 1 star to 5 star. Obviously, 1 star, very easy, very basic movement, extremely fundamental. The later stars get way more intricate, which we'll go into shortly. So first, here's a very basic movement mission. At the start of each mission, you'll see a couple of slides that go over a quick description as to what you're supposed to do. There's also a couple of ending slides that show how you can implement it. It obviously makes a little bit more sense when you get into the later difficulties, but still a cool touch. This is one of the later difficulty missions. This is showing the new Drift RC system, and I'm not going to get into all the other RCs again. This is just a little quick glimpse into the mission mode, so I wanted to showcase a couple of the easy ones and a couple of the harder ones. The one small issue I have with mission mode is that you're fixed on the character it gives you for each mission. So in other words, now we're learning Drift RC with Kai. I feel like it would have been better for other players, new players or older players, to say, hey, I want to use Potemkin, let me learn Drift RC, give me a basic combo with Drift RC with the character I want to use. Now, there are some exceptions to this rule. For instance, all of the matchup missions allow you to pick the character before you start the mission. For example, we're going to do a soul matchup because everybody should know how to fight that savage, and I'm a Zato player, so I pick Zato and learn. There's one small criticism I have with this, of course. I can't just say nice things. Every character has 2 tutorial matchups. For instance, this is Soul Matchup Tutorial 2. I believe the first one was stopping a block string into Fafnir. I just wish there was 3. Nevertheless, I still think the training in the mission mode is excellent, and honestly, all fighting games should have something like this, no matter what. One of the other benefits of doing the missions, besides obviously learning about the game, is we get money to go fishing. Now, those of you who may not know, it's not really fishing. This is just a way for you to get extra goodies in the game. We got music, thank God. We got gallery stuff. We got things for the avatar. Unfortunately, I was not able to make an avatar yet because online is not operational. And I'm not sure if the fishing avatar is going to match your online one. I'm not sure about that yet. But essentially, this is fishing. You do some mission modes, you get some bread, you spend your bread on fishing, you get costumes, you get music, you get wallpaper stuff. Pretty cool, just a little fun addition to the game and another reason to make you want to do the mission mode. So let's just say this is your first ever Guilty Gear. You have no idea who these characters are, what the story is. Well, I've been playing Guilty Gear since Guilty Gear 1 on PlayStation, and I have no idea what's going on either. But that's okay, because Strive gave us Guilty Gear World. Now, this is I don't even know what to call this thing. There is so much information in here. I'm just going to be scrolling through things in GG World. There's a chronological order based on the entire Guilty Gear series. There's this individual, like, it's almost a family tree looking diagram that you're going to see in a second that breaks it down by character and year. It is extremely in-depth. So for all you lore heads out there that want to know about the game and want to know what's going on, this is for you. Like I said, I've been playing Guilty Gear for a very long time, and I literally have no idea what's going on. So this is certainly going to be helpful for me, and I'm sure it's going to be helpful for some of you guys. Overall, really cool addition. So I'm just going to be quiet now and just scroll through it and let you guys take a peek. Before we get into any of my actual thoughts about the game and the gameplay itself, huge disclaimer. These are my own opinions about the game, and I didn't grab them out of thin air. I didn't play the game for one day. I spent an extensive amount of time in the closed betas and open betas. Also been playing this review copy for the last couple of days. So again, this is my own personal opinion, and I urge you to please allow me to have my own opinions. Also, I urge you to let other people have their own opinion about the game. Disclaimer over, so let's get into it. As of right now, I think the game is good. Not great, not amazing, but I do think it's good. The first thing, number one, numero uno. This is the best looking fighting game that's ever been made. This game looks incredible. I purposely picked this match because I think Faust is the best designed character right now. All his, look at that animation. All his moves, all his animation, his redesign, just absolutely incredible. The next point has to be the online functionality. Now, I'm not talking about the lobby system. I know some people had an issue with the lobby system. I agree with you guys. When the lobby first came out in the original closed betas, it was kind of rough. They sort of fixed it up. I believe it was the first open beta. I don't remember the exact beta, but they did fix it so there was now stations. It wasn't just avatars walking around with their weapon out. So they did make a change to try and make it a little bit better, but the overall online playing this game online is nuts. This is also going based off the betas. Right now, like I've said earlier in the video, the online is not enabled till later tonight, but I'm sure if it was that good in the beta, I'm sure it's going to be just as good right now or better. Let's hope that they do tighten up the lobby system, but besides that, again, actually playing online, amazing. I played Haitane. Haitane lives in Japan. That's very far from me, and it was easily a playable connection. I was stunned. If you ask me, this is probably one of the most important aspects about this game, and that is the developers have listened to the community. There was a lot of negative feedback about the lobby system, so they did their best to implement that change in the lobby system. There was an issue with people complaining about anti-airs. In one of the betas, they switched it so the anti-airs, a lot of the 6Ps or forward Ps, would work better as anti-airs. That is something that is priceless. The idea of having developers that make a game be that in tune to the community is something that we don't get that often. I mean, I wish we did. I think it's a really good idea for developers to do that, to be there for the communities and to discuss things with them and to see what the goods and the bads are. But having a developer be on the community side, that is priceless. And what this means for the future of the game? This means the future of the game can, hypothetically speaking, only go up as long as the devs continue to listen to the community and take some feedback. We're only going up from here. Before we move on to other points of the review, I want to attack a very specific phrase. I feel like we've all heard it before, and that phrase is, "It doesn't feel like Guilty Gear." I know, very controversial topic, but I do want to dive into it a little bit because I understand both arguments of the story, and the thing is, both arguments are able to be validated to a certain extent. On one hand, there are some significant changes to Strive that certainly differ from Guilty Gear in the past. I don't really want to go through an extensive list of all the changes that are in Strive compared to older Guilty Gears, but just know that there are a significant few, and some people have a problem with this. And you know what, guys? I think that's okay. On the other hand, you have a lot of people that embrace the change of Guilty Gear. Look, is it completely different? No. But one more time, there are substantial changes in Strive that make it feel almost like, quote-unquote, not a Guilty Gear game. But the more you play Strive, the more you learn the system, the more you're using your RCs, your drift RCs, your defensive RCs, it starts to open up a little bit. I feel like that saying was created when the betas were out, so it's kind of like a knee-jerk reaction to the gameplay, but there are elements of Guilty Gear in here. You just go about getting those elements out in a different way. Before we close up this review, I do want to go over a few personal wish lists that I would love to see implemented. Now, some of these might sound a little crazy, but my first one would be the meter. I wish the meter was broken up into thirds or fourths. This would open up the offense a little bit to potentially remove that "it doesn't feel like Guilty Gear" phrase. Obviously, there would have to be a whole lot of adjustments around that. The cost of certain RCs being more or less would be a good idea. And to piggyback on top of that, my other gripe is the damage. I feel like the damage is way too high for way too little. So in conjunction of opening up the RC system a little bit, which means the offense would be slightly more aggressive, you would have to tone the damage down, but it would also allow a little bit more freestyle in the play. So to wrap this up, everyone, I think Guilty Gear Strive is certainly a must-buy for any fighting game fan. Even if you're new to fighting games, I would highly recommend you picking this game up. It has the easy-to-play but hard-to-master quality, which is good for fighting game fans of old and new, not to mention how good the online is, which means you should always have somebody to play. And that is it for me and this review. I really appreciate you guys checking this out. Hope you liked the video. I'm sure there's going to be plenty more Strive content on this channel, so you guys already know what to do. I ain't telling you, but that's it. I'm out. I'll see you guys online.